Hey guys, Bill Rapier here with Amtac Shooting. I want to talk a little bit about strong side versus appendix carry. Now, 95+% of the time I am a strong side carrier for reasons that we will go into here a little bit more in depth shortly. But the main thing to remember with these decisions is don't carry one way because someone does something or another way because another guy does something. Carry the way that works the best for you, that fits the best with how you see yourself employing your tools, with how you see yourself potentially getting into an issue where you might need to draw your tools. And then also your dress needs to come into play for this, right? So there's a bunch of things that come into play just like anything else. What's the best pistol? What's the best holster? What's the best rifle? The answer is a very individual thing. It depends a lot on your personal situation. So first, let's talk about my setup. So I run a full-size 4-inch Walther PDP with a EPS and a Surefire XC2. This is my normal go-to. I will vary, kind of depending on what the mission is, but this is kind of my go-to right here. I carry it in a Black Point Tactical FO3 holster. This guy right here. So this is designed so that I can run it as far forward on the hip as possible. So my recommendation is that you run the top of the optic even with the leading edge of the hip bone. So one of the important things with carrying strong side like this is being able to draw one-handed, right? So again, going back to why do we do this? If you think you're always gonna start outside distance, i.e. you think you're gonna identify every possible threat and you can come to a loaded position first and then go ahead and draw, then I actually think appendix is a great way to carry if that's how you see yourself getting into an altercation. But if you think that it might start as a surprise to you, you think it might start with a fist fight, i.e. you just got punched a couple times and then you realize that actually you just got stabbed multiple times, right, because your shirt is wet. Now I can, as a one-handed draw stroke guy, I can save my life with one hand and pull my pistol out with the other hand. So how I do this, guys, my hands start by my side right here. My thumb goes into the inguinal crease, comes up along my chest line. I get my left hand out of the way right away, or my left hand's doing something else, doesn't really matter. Then I'm coming up and over. I'm anchoring my middle finger on the middle of the pistol right here, and then I'm racing my cover garment down. Now if I'm gonna shoot weapons retention, I'm just gonna rock it up and send it from right here. If I can go to full extension, I'm gonna come up and then punch it out. And pistol comes up and out. We're standing relaxed, and pistol comes out. That's another huge thing, guys. A big thing that I see within the training community is guys, every time they go to do a draw stroke, they get into some sort of a loaded, okay, your best recoil management position right there. And that's great if you're shooting a match. But if you're training to be able to protect yourself and your family the best, you should start from a relaxed position. You should start with one foot forward or the other foot forward. Shouldn't really matter. And then when it's time to draw, go ahead and draw. And drop into that good aggressive fighting stance while you're doing it. Okay guys, so another strength of strong side carry is if I do need to do a concealed draw stroke, right, a concealed slow draw, I can blade myself off like this and I can still be talking with people while I slowly pull my pistol out like this right here. Now I have pistol in hand. It's slightly harder to do strong side like this because the cone of deception is actually very narrow right here where I can actually pull the pistol out without being seen. However, it's more socially awkward if I'm an appendix guy and now I'm talking right here and I go to this position while I do my draw stroke. The bottom line why I run strong side is it's better for fighting. One of the main parts of this is if you're reaching and your hand is by my pistol right here and I shift my hips, I start to blade myself a little bit like this right here, I've created a significant amount of space. i.e. I can stop you from getting at my pistol. Versus if you do that same amount of hip movement right here and you're carrying appendix, that guy's hand can still be on top of your pistol. So that would be the number one thing. Number two thing is that separation that we just talked about where I have a lethal tool on either side of me. So if someone is grabbing at my pistol right here, all I'm doing is I'm anchoring right here and I'm drawing my blade and thrusting them is one of the best weapons retention tools that we have out there. Conversely, if someone was going for my blade first, very easy to draw my pistol right there, shifting my hips like that. Okay guys, lastly, I do want to talk about what do I think the strengths are of appendix carry. So first off, when I appendix carry, it's when I'm rucking for a longer distance, right? So I'll take my normal FO3 holster, I'll shift my belt over and I'll put it very, very center line right here. And what this allows me to do is to get a heavier ruck on my hips. I can go all day like that. That's the main reason that I would appendix carry. I think there are times, depending on your body type and your mode of dress, where you can conceal slightly better when you're rolling appendix versus rolling strong side. So that could be another advantage for you. Lastly, we talked about paradigms and how you see yourself using your tools. If you think that the fight is always going to start with you seeing it from an outside distance, 5 to 7 plus yards, and you will have time to assume a loaded position, then there's potential for this draw stroke to be a little bit faster than your strong side draw stroke. If that's how you see it, those would be the positives, right? That would lead me to roll appendix. But as I look at things, as I look at my experience, running strong side is what works for me. So regardless of what you guys do, make sure that you have thought about it. Use what we call logical order of thought. Make sure that you are doing something because you have thought about the pros and cons of each different type of carry. Don't just do something because one guy told you to do one thing and one guy told you to do another thing. Keep training, guys.